Shalom, dear friends, and welcome to the very last day in January. Tomorrow is the very first day in February. I'm turning on my machine. It's official. The new bridal season has started. I am trying to finish up all the last minute things that I need sewn because the first of the wave, the official wave of brides shows up this afternoon and tomorrow, and I am back into bridal season. Am I ready? No, I'm not ready. Oh, January and my time off. I was supposed to take October, November, and December off. Ended up pushing that to November, December. Then I realized it was all preparation for holidays and all of the work that goes on there. And so I said, okay, I don't have anybody scheduled for January yet. I'm going to go ahead and take the month of January off, and I will catch up and do all of the things on my to-do list. And that to-do list, I think I gave up on it. It used to be right here. I think I just gave up on it because January didn't happen the way that I planned. But isn't that the truth? That's how life is. And so here I am. Tomorrow is February 1st of 2023, and I am starting my bridal season, and we all know it gets a little crazy, without feeling like I've got the stuff done. Like I need to finish some of the prep curtains that I was fixing, and even my dressing room. For a year and a half, I have not sewn those curtains together because I didn't have time. So I'm going to try to do that today before I meet my afternoon appointment. But I wanted to just sit and chat with you since it is Tuesday, and usually I'm talking about peace and those kind of things. And so and my word of the year. So I wanted to pose the question, how is your word of the year going? What word of the year did you choose? And how has the first month of the new year been to you? Have you been able to find some really neat things about your word? Did you do some extra study? I got a little distracted and I did a little study, but mainly, believe it or not, this is my journal from last year, which was on trust. And I still am writing pages in this because I'm still learning how to trust. And my other journal, which is in the house, on worship, I have been working on, but not like I thought I would. I thought, wow, January is going to be that great month of meditation. There'll be no holidays. It'll just be like a normal, a normal life. I'll come out here and I'll get stuff done and I'll get myself all ready. Maybe I'll do some creative things, but I didn't do that. But that's okay. I think tomorrow, February 1st, I think I'm starting the new year over. I think that tomorrow is going to be my New Year's. So tonight is New Year's Eve in my world. And you know what? You can actually restart anytime you want. You don't have to wait for January 1st or the Chinese New Year or the Jewish New Year. You can start whenever God puts something on your heart. Start it now and move forward. And that's what I'm going to do. Tonight is New Year's Eve in my world. Tomorrow will be New Year's Day, and I'm going to start fresh. And I'm going to do, God willing, the things that I really wanted to do. I wanted to focus on worship, my word of the year. I wanted to dig into the word and have good quiet time with him. And I did get a chance to do that a little bit here and there, but a lot of times I was waking up really early to make sure I could take people places and do things and holidays and all of that kind of stuff. So I want to hear from you. How did the first month of 2023 go in your world? I've heard from a lot of people they kind of got a bad start. And so would you want to restart with me? You want to restart tomorrow and let's try this one more time? Or tell me if your year's been going good and you've been doing a lot this January and doing a lot of work in your life, spiritually, physically? Have you been on a better diet? I want to hear about that. Inspire us. Tell me so I can be inspired, so I can, you know, just glean off of your inspiration since I don't have any of my own. But I did this morning get a little inspiration, and I wanted to share that with you this morning. I was kind of thumbing through the Psalms again, even though I really should be reading Proverbs, because in our Sunday night Bible study, we're looking at Solomon's life, and that's been really good. Right now we're learning about his temple that he built and all the symbolism there and how it connects to Christ. And it's just been a really good study. And we've been talking a lot about Mount Moriah. And in a lot of places, Mount Moriah, where he built the temple on, it's also where Abraham was tested by God and was asked to sacrifice his son Isaac. And then God stopped him right midstream. He was about to sacrifice him, and God stopped him and then gave him a lamb to sacrifice. He kind of substituted the sacrifice for his son to the lamb. And this ends up to be the same place where when David in 2 Samuel had made some really bad choices, and he kind of angered God, and God gave him 3 choices, and he chose to have 3 days of a plague in his country. And people were dying left and right, and he cried out for God, and it was like, just like in the time of Egypt, where the death angel was coming through and wiping people out. And he cried out to God, and God had mercy, and the angel stopped right on Mount Moriah, in the threshing floor of a Jebusite. And then his son Solomon is actually going to build the temple in the same location. So this location of Mount Moriah is critical. It also ends up to be where the temple is built, where Jesus taught, and right next to where he died and was the ultimate sacrifice. Just a really great story. If you get a chance to read the Old Testament and really study it, I encourage you. Right now on Fridays, we've been doing the 4 Gospels slowly, but I hope to, after this, maybe go over to Acts and study Acts with you. And then I would actually like, if anybody wants to join me, after the study on Acts, go to Genesis and maybe start walking our way through the Old Testament as well. So you have a chance to do that. But the reason I say all of that is because my psalm this morning reminded me of Mount Moriah, because it says Mount Zion. It's in Psalm 125. Those who trust, and that was my word last year, so I'm still working on trust. Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever. In other words, you put your hope and your trust in God, and you're not going to be shaken. Oh yeah, it's going to feel shaky, but you're going to get through it. God's going to see you through it. You're going to be strong, and the storms of life can hit you, but you're hanging on to that anchor. You're hanging on to God, just like Mount Zion. And then it says, as the mountains surround Jerusalem, which this psalm really came to life this morning, because we have been looking at a lot of archaeological things around the town of Jerusalem and the city of David, which was also known as Jerusalem. And there's mountains surrounding this other Mount Moriah. And it says, as the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people both now and forever. If you're feeling alone, if you're feeling like maybe you're in this storm all by yourself, it says to trust in God, and he's going to surround you like the mountains around Jerusalem, and hang on to you, protect you, and get you through it. And then this was an interesting thing. Verse 3 says, the scepter of the wicked will not remain over the land allotted to the righteous. For then the righteous might use their hands to do evil. So the scepter is kind of like what the king, he had, his staff, or a scepter. So it means like the power or the rule of the wicked, the evil, will not remain over the land allotted to the righteous. In other words, allotted is also meaning promised, your inheritance. What has God promised you? You know, at the beginning, when you first started serving God, he gave you some promises that you've been hanging on to. And that's like the land he allotted to the righteous, or to his people, his children. We are righteous through Christ. You may say, I'm not totally righteous. Well, if you have put your faith in Christ, you are righteous, because he stands in the gap and he makes you righteous. So basically, that even though right now the evil and the evil one has stolen, or seems to have power over something God promised you. We've been studying how the Temple Mount, right now, the Dome of the Rock and the Muslims have power and control over what God promised the Israelites. But it says that the scepter of the wicked will not remain over the land allotted to the righteous. So eventually God will overrule, and he will take that back for his temple. Well, the same in us, as we are his temple. We are his children. And what has God promised you that the evil one has stolen from you? Or it seems like they are ruling over and have power over in your life. Is it your finances? Is it your marriage? Is it your children? I was really thinking this week, my daughter's birthday is going to be next Sunday. And I was really thinking about how proud I am of her and how amazing she is. And yet she's not following God, and the evil one has stolen that from me. But those are my children. Those are the ones that God gave me as a gift to raise, and they are his. They're his inheritance. And so I have to trust in God and not be shaken and have anxiety, not be afraid, because he has promises over here that he says, don't worry about it. They will not remain. The evil will not remain. I will take it back over. So finishing up with verse 4, Lord, do good for those who are good, to those who are upright in heart. But those who turn to crooked ways, the Lord will banish with the evildoers. Peace be on Israel. And that's, I think, the key. This channel is all about peace. Maybe the evil one, maybe Satan has stolen your peace. And he could steal that through your finances, your marriage, your family, your church family. What peace is he trying to steal from you, the enemy? Hang on and trust in God, and he will restore it. He's going to take care of it, give it back to you. Just trust him and just rest in his peace, knowing. And that's where you get the peace that passes all understanding. When circumstances look like, just like the Muslims have the Temple Mount, right now it looks impossible for the Israelites the Jews to rebuild their temple. It's really impossible right now. But with God, nothing is impossible. And in your life, big or small problems, God has promised you certain things, and he's going to fulfill those. And also, he's going to bring peace into your life. All you have to do is go back to verse 1. It says, those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion. So your key to peace here today in this passage is learning to trust. It's learning to trust. And you can only, I have learned that this year in my word of trust this past year. You can only trust someone if you truly know their character and you know that they are good. So dig into the Word of God so you can find out who God is, find out his goodness, find out that he's on your side, find out that he's a jealous God that wants you and your attention and wants you to love him, worship him, adore him, and he will turn your life around, and he will bring you that peace that passes all understanding. Anyway, I got to get back to work, and I just wanted to say hello today and wish you all a happy 1st of February as of tomorrow, and hope your January was much better than mine was. Hope your 2023 is going really, really well, and just wanted to encourage you to keep moving forward, keep trusting in God, and He will give you the land He promised. The land in quotes. Love you all. Have a great day. Shalom, my dear friends. I forgot. Can I pop back on here? I want to also say that the land that He promised me is actually His land. And so today, as I'm quickly finishing up my own projects and getting ready for Bridal 2023, I want to dedicate my sewing machine to Him, the studio to Him, my relationships with my brides, dedicate my hands and my eyes, hopefully they maintain, and dedicate my talents back to Him, so that the land that He has promised me, and also dedicate my children back to Him. The land that He has given me was actually His to begin with. And so I just give it back to Him. And what's in your hands? What do you need to start today to dedicate back to Him and say, God, do what you want with this channel on here. God, do whatever you want with this channel. I don't know the direction you want me to go, but you just lead me day to day. I don't know what brides are going to come my way this year, but please help my relationships with them to point to you, God. Whatever it is, whatever's in your hands, dedicate to God. Start today, no matter what day you're watching this, and say, as of today, I'm following you, and it's all yours, and I trust you. I love you, God. So anyway, thanks for letting me pop back on. Love you all. Shalom, dear friends. Have a great day. Bye.